Welcome to the summary of Adult and Community Education EDAC 631 Group 3 Final Summary for Fall 2014, put together by Charlene Jackson, Jessica Kirby, and Becky Menning. We all three went through and discovered some important aspects of adult and community education from our point of view based off of the items we've learned in this class. We'll start with Charlene. Dealing with the history paper, Charlene chose the 1860s, and noticed that in the 1860s, adult education in the U.S. included apprenticeships for many new immigrants, literacy education for former slaves, and vocational training for adults from various backgrounds. She also came up with adult experience is key. It's important to recognize the unique experiences and backgrounds of every adult learner when dealing with adult and community education. Adult and community education is essential for immigrants seeking citizenship. We learned this in our programs and organization paper in dealing with the Carnegie Foundation and all the work that they do with immigrants. So adult education for immigrants can take the form of English as a second language, ESL classes, local programs that encourage community engagement, or preparation classes for the U.S. Naturalization Citizenship Test, which is provided for by the Carnegie Foundation. Jessica refers to adult education being more about learning than teaching. Rather than just teaching the material, adult educators should work to create environments that foster learning and discovery so that adult learners are able to draw their own conclusions about new knowledge, rather than just the sit and get of traditional education. And really, there is no typical adult educator. Because the field of adult and community education is so vast, the characteristics of those who serve as educators in this field are also widely varied. And it's really almost impossible to define an adult educator by one concrete set of characteristics because of how different the entire community of adult education is. Becky, which is me, adult education is many things and really is very hard to define. I never really thought about adult and community education as being very different. I just always thought of it in one particular way. And so it was really great to see all of the different ways that you can define adult and community education, and all things that count as adult and community education. Also, when we looked at famous educators, Booker T. Washington was one of our educators that we focused on, and I did not realize how much he did for the field of education. I've known that name as an important historian, but now I really see him as an educator instead of just a historian. And the many different programs and organizations that were discussed, not only by our group but other groups, really opened my eyes to what is all out there. If you are an adult in need of some type of education for whatever purpose, there's probably a program or an organization out there to help you. You just have to be willing to go out and look for it. And that's really comforting to me, knowing that no matter what city you're in, there are probably programs out there to help you as an adult, which is really great for our country. We each came up with kind of our own idea of adult and community education, and you'll notice that all three of these really kind of, they're very similar in how we describe our own ideas of adult and community education. So Charlene describes adult and community education that it takes place in formal classroom settings, in everyday activities such as reading a newspaper or magazine, or during a local fitness class at a local gym. Whenever an adult is involved in an activity that leads to learning, he or she is participating in adult and community education. So again, that kind of goes back to what I said earlier about how many different things really qualify as adult and community education, how neat it is that there's just this vast a variety of things that we can use as adult and community education. Jessica talks about adult and community education as any activity in which an adult actively engages in learning or discovering new knowledge and or skills, either individually or as part of a group. This happens in a variety of locations and covers a very wide range of topics, but every adult education opportunity should be designed to help adults grow personally or professionally. And last but not least, Becky describes adult and community education as anything that improves the life of adults and or communities. This can be in the way of classes, workshops, programs, museum visits, and tons of other interactions. There can be group or individual education. It's about making each and every one of us better. So I think all three of us talk about how different adult and community education can be, how it can be in a lot of different forms and different formats and be really anywhere, just as long as adults are gaining new knowledge, new skills, and making themselves better. To learn more about our group and the work we did this semester, please feel free to visit us at our webpage, http://group3edac631.wix.com/edac/group-3. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed our summary of our final project.